What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this edition of Mind Speakers. Today is August 30th, 2018. Today is Thursday. Welcome to the show, guys. We have a jam-packed, pretty much we have planned to speak about MMA and speak about UFC. I'm waiting on my co-host Ives to join us, and my co-host Justin to come on and talk a little bit about WWE and UFC and MMA. While we're waiting for them, I want to welcome all of the listeners, the faithful listeners that have been tuning in to the Mind Speakers show, the Mind Speakers podcast. I think I may have Ives on now. Ives, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, what's going on? I was
What's
just
up, brother?
talking
What's
with
up?
nothing much. Yeah, I was just listening. I was just talking with the listeners. Basically, just welcoming them to the show. So yeah, man, just told them that we're gonna be talking about a little bit of MMA and UFC today. And talking about a little bit of some WWE news or whatever.
I'm interested as well because I know nothing about the WWE, so I want to actually learn a little bit about it.
Yeah, definitely.
I haven't been interested in it at all, honestly. So it's good to know about it.
Well, I don't know if I told you, but I've been watching wrestling since I was like 5 years old, and it's just I grew up watching it, and I used to watch it with my brothers when I was young, and we used to just I just grew loving it, loving the sport. But I mean, it doesn't compare to the way it is now. Now it's just watered down and it's mainstream, and a lot of times it's bullshit. Right. But I mean, like before, it was the real shit. Like it was like, we're talking about like the old school guys: Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Sting. You had Ric Flair. You had all the old guys. So, but you don't have that shit anymore now. But
here's the thing though. At what point did you realize that it was fake?
Well, I actually knew. I knew that it was fake because when I used to watch it.
Because there are people that refuse to actually realize that it's a fake sport. And I understand it's a show, and I love that, and I like the whole thing about it, how it's like it's planned out and all the good stuff that goes on there. But there are actually people that refuse to say what that it's actually fake. I don't know if it's just they're convincing themselves or they're just playing the game, but it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I honestly, I think that what it is that. Going back to what I was going to tell you was that my dad, he always used to get on me about the fact that that it's a fake, it's not even considered a sport. Like, it's fake. It's not real. This is all staged. This is all planned out.
Yeah, because it's like a TV show essentially.
Right. So and he used to tell me that, and I used to be like, yeah, but so what? I don't believe it. I think it's real, whatever. At my son's age, I used to think, oh, it's a lie. It's really real and all that shit. And then came to find out that it was actually staged and planned and fake and, But I love, I guess I love the storyline. I love the way, sometimes the way the story goes and how everything is planned out, the way the whole show is planned out or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. No. I could easily understand why someone would actually be a big fan of it. It's just not my thing. Only because I fell upon actual fighting first. I'll be honest. If I happened to see WWE first and I actually found some sort of interest in it and I watched it first, then maybe I would be a big fan. But right now, I don't know. I just can't see myself getting into something that's not actually real when I'm actually watching like real combat sports. So it's like I don't know. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'll get into it eventually. I don't know.
I mean, I get it. Just the fact that that it's actually fake. It's kind of like, it's kind of like.
It's just not easy. Like, it's not
Yeah,
easy
exactly.
to go from, like, oh, I'm watching a UFC fight and then going straight from that to, like, okay, let me just watch some guys throw each other around.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. Whenever I watch those UFC matches and the MMA matches and stuff like that, like, I'm like, fuck, like, these guys get their ass kicked,
It's
these
true.
fucking guys bleed, they get beat up. It's crazy.
It's true, and I'm not gonna lie. It took some time for me to actually continue to watch, because what happened is, like, the first time I ever even saw anything like that was like a couple of years ago. I think like 5-6 years ago. I was just watching, like, on the TV, and I happened to, like, I was on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started seeing it, and I was interested because I realized it was actually, like, real fun. I didn't even know like MMA, UFC. I didn't know anything about anything like this. I knew about boxing, obviously, but I didn't know about the sport, because the sport obviously wasn't as big as it is right now. But I had trouble. I seriously had trouble watching it, because the fight that I watched was filled with gore. It was fucking bad. Like, and I was getting sick to my stomach, because I literally was seeing a guy in pain, hurt, but, like, his opponent would just continue to just knee and punch, and the blood was. It was very, very, very bad. It was rough. It was really bad.
So, and sometimes,
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Continued. Yeah, I just continued afterwards.
And sometimes, like, I'm watching it and I'm like, holy shit! Like, I can't bear to watch this anymore. This is just brutal.
No, it's true. It's not for everyone. That is a fact. But if you continue and you see it more as, like, as not a brutal sport, you just see it as two people using their talents against each other and the skills, and it takes a lot of time to do what they're doing. It's not easy at all. So if you see it from that point of view, then it's a lot easier to watch. But
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I hear you. Just want to let the listeners know we have our new Facebook page up, a Mind Speakers Facebook page. We have the Twitter page up for Mind Speakers, and we also have Instagram now. And we are working, ladies and gentlemen, on our website to get our website up and going. We're shortly but surely we're getting everything together. And we want to thank Carissa Johnson.
It's gonna come along really soon.
Yeah, we want to thank Carissa Johnson for our logo. It's badass,
yes.
And everybody I know is, like, probably clicking on it. Oh, Mind Speakers. Let me just click on it and see, how good they sound. But
it's not there yet. Don't worry.
It's not there yet, but we will get there.
It's gonna take some time, man.
Yeah. The guest calling number is 929-477-2401. If you guys want to join in on the show, if you guys want to call, any opinions, whatever. Also, if you want to email our show, and we really want to get people to give us their honest opinion on what they think about the show, or what they can, I guess, put their input on what we should talk about on the show, whatever. We talk about everything and anything, and that's why we're called Mind. So, just email us at mindspeakers1@gmail.com. Mindspeakers1@gmail.com. You guys can email us. That's our show's email address, and anything you guys want to tell us, just shoot us an email. We're open to listening to everything that you guys want to tell us. So. Honestly, I really, really want you to, I know that you want me to tell you about WWE, but I also want you to tell me about this sport, because a lot of people are really, really into UFC and MMA, like more than ever.
Right. The thing is, there's also another organization like Bellator. It's competing against the UFC, but it's just a bunch of shit fighters. But again, if you want to just start, you could start. It doesn't really matter what you're watching, as long as you're just watching the people fight each other. You'll soon realize that it's better than you think. Like, it's going to be rough at first, Like I said, it's not easy watching two people beat the living shit out of each other. But not every fight is like that. There's wrestling. There's so many different skills that they put inside. So you'll get there eventually. But everyone knows there's one name that everyone knows about, and that's Conor McGregor. And I'm sure you know about him too. You know about him, Nestor. Yeah.
Of course.
So honestly, he literally is making the UFC what it is right now. It literally would be absolutely nothing without him. It was pretty good years ago, but he obviously is the reason why the UFC has become what it's become. So that's a big deal also. Conor McGregor. And also you know about the Conor Floyd fight and everything like that as well.
Right, yeah. I actually saw that match and everything. Even though I think that was a bunch of bullshit. It was paid, you know. I honestly for Conor won. Right? No, Conor lost the match. But you know, I really think it was. I felt like he was beating the shit out of Floyd Mayweather. But
he was.
You know,
the first 3-4 rounds he was, yeah. But again, this is what he does all the time. He gets tired after 2-3 rounds, then he gasses out. So when I was first watching it, I was literally excited because it was when you see someone doing something that he's doing in a completely different sport and actually winning, and you saw him landing a couple punches as well. It was exciting, but it wasn't what people said it was going to be. Because again, after he gassed out, it was just basically Mayweather just took over from there. He didn't really go after him. He didn't go after him from the finish because he never does. He hasn't done that in his entire career. Talk about Floyd hasn't done that. But it was still good. It was good. $100 is a lot of money, but it was fine. It was worth it.
Yeah. Oh, so I just got a text that Justin's not gonna be able to join us tonight. He's dealing with some stuff, but yeah. So it'll just be me and you. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And another thing also is
Yeah,
go ahead. CM Punk is another name I wanted to mention. Because you know about him, and he just recently
Absolutely.
fought in the UFC as well. So he fought twice actually.
And I don't know if correct me if I'm wrong. They said that he didn't do good.
No, he didn't. He didn't do well at all. The first time was a complete embarrassment. Because you can't. He trained for I think like 6-7 months. I'm not exactly sure where he trained, but he trained for 6-7 months. He came in there. He fought against Mickey Gall, another pretty. It was another amateur, but obviously more skilled than him. He's had a lot more MMA experience than he has, but he lost pretty bad. He lost in I think it was under 2 minutes or 3 minutes in the first round, and then everyone was talking about this is what was classic. It was going to happen, blah blah blah. But then he fought again later on. I think it was a couple months ago, and he lost brutally again. So. I think it's over for him in terms of fighting in the UFC now.
Yeah.
But at least he had the balls to do it. That's the difference.
Right, exactly. He had the balls to do it. You know, he wanted to try it out. It didn't work out for him. So now it's, I'm more than likely he's either probably going to go back to wrestling. I mean, I don't know if for the WWE, but I don't know.
He's not. I think he didn't he stop his contract with the WWE or something like that. Like he released himself from the contract. There was some bullshit I saw about that on YouTube.
Yeah. He walked out on the contract or whatever. He walked out on the last day, like when they were about to tell him to sign the new contract. Once his contract ended, that at midnight. I think at midnight during or around that time during the time when they were on pay-per-view, he literally once he finished his match, he literally walked out and he said, "I quit, I'm done." And they wanted him to re-sign and he didn't re-sign. So.
But the thing is, I don't know what's a part of the whole game, or was that planned out, or did he do it himself? Because people are also speculating that it was just a bunch of shit that he already told them beforehand that he was going to bounce.
I don't know. There's people, I'm not sure really, because there's people who say that Vince McMahon didn't know he was going to walk out on him, that this was just a shocker to everybody. They didn't think he was going to walk out. And then they said, oh, they already knew this was just part of the storyline and stuff like that. But I don't know. I honestly, I think that honestly, I think that it was in the storyline because I mean I'm pretty sure they have to have an idea that this is gonna happen. You know.
Right, I'm pretty sure that worked too, honestly.
So they are, they're talking about this whole, WWE is talking about this whole new Super Showdown thing, special pay-per-view show, that it's going to be Triple H versus The Undertaker. Now, to every wrestling fan out there that's listening to the show, we've seen this so many times, but I guess they're saying one last time. Like we haven't heard that before in our wrestling, being a wrestling fan. Like one last time. Okay. Anyway, so this is supposed to take part like in sometime in October, and they're trying to really amp this up. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely am gonna wanna. I mean, two of the top stars of the Attitude Era. Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and The Undertaker. The Undertaker, pretty much an icon. He's a legend in wrestling. Like this. This, everybody wants to see The Undertaker again in the ring, but there's a lot who say that he's too old. It's time to pack it up. And sometimes these wrestlers they don't know when to call it quits. Some of them
also,
just
the lifestyle also, I hear that it's also pretty shit, just constantly on the road.
Yeah, it's constantly on the road. It's constantly going to shows and booking for shows and, all this stuff like that. And, you barely get to see your family. It's not an easy life, man. Living on the road and staying in hotels or staying in your RV or whatever it is that they do.
Although I don't think they're going to complain that much. They're making shit tons of money, so I don't think they're.
Oh yeah, they're
making
good. They're making good money for sure. So
how does it work though in terms of like the low end people, like the ones who don't really have the biggest names? How much are we talking? Like like around how much like money they make? Because in the UFC, people who just got started, they're making, if anything, they're making like $12,000.
Believe it or not,
they have like 6 fights and each fight is $12K, so they're not making a lot of money.
But believe it or not, Ives, the ones that are like really on the low like the level, like the ones that are like the jobbers, the ones that get their ass kicked all the time, like those wrestlers, they can go for like a couple of $1,000s. I mean, I don't think that they're paying them millions. They're getting paid like a couple of $1,000.
No, of course not. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what's going on. So let me just get into a little bit of real quick. I watched some of Raw. It really didn't. There were a few matches that were interesting. But I do want to get into the match between what's his name? I'm trying to remember because there were a few matches that happened during the pay-per-view. I mean during the Raw and SmackDown telecast. So let me just, while I'm looking for that, you want to just tell some of what the UFC entails and what what the sport is about while I'm looking for that.
Yeah, give me a second. The thing is, the upcoming fights. Give me a second. Let me just look this up right now. Actually, I'm going to be watching it. I think it's the 8th of September. 1 second. And the thing is, Justin, who's going to come on, also knows a lot about this too.
Yeah.
He watches it apparently as well.
Mhm.
Give me a second. Yeah, we have Woodley and Darren Till. That's the main event for September 8th card. just a good fucking card. Except the thing, they have a bunch of. It's rough because I don't like saying this, but the women fights that they have are really not that good, and I'm assuming that's not the same in the WWE. In fact, probably more people want to watch the fights that go on with the women.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, but
the
women fights that we have here in the UFC are pretty crap because I don't know, the level of intensity is just not as high. The shots being thrown are not as good. Except for there's an exception. We have Amanda Nunes, we have Cyborg. Those are two girls that really throw and they're very, very skilled. So I do enjoy watching them. But for the most part, when you have a main card that's filled with a lot of women, it doesn't work that well.
Right.
Because also they don't go for broke. And the thing is, not to say that all the men do, but there are occasional times there was like in the McGregor card maybe 2 years ago we had Misha Tate and Holly Holm. Those two fought. That was incredible, and I wasn't expecting anything from that, and that was amazing. So not always the case, but some of these names I recognize, and because you know from when they fight before. Like you have Carla Esparza, Tatiana Suarez. These two. It's not the best. I've seen their fights before, and it's really not good. And the thing is that's because they can't find really anyone else for the card because they have a pretty good main event, which is Willing and Toe. That's a big deal, so they don't really have anyone else for this card. But that's why everyone's waiting for UFC 229. That's the big deal.
Right. So, from what happened, really quickly, I just wanted to say a little bit what happened on SmackDown. So SmackDown started. It came from it was on August 28th, and it was from Toronto, Ontario. So SmackDown tag team champions The New Day come out to the ring with a big trophy in the middle. We see a replay of The New Day's tag team title win, and Xavier gets on the mic to discuss recapturing their titles. Biggie gets on and says there's no better place to celebrate than Toronto, and he talks about being 5-time champions when suddenly King Booker interrupts. We know that King Booker is Booker T. He's a legend. He's basically one of the legends of WCW and WWE days. The 5-time WCW champion walks down the ramp to the ring. The crowd chants for Booker T. I believe I heard he did spin-a-rooney in the middle of the ring or something like that. And then basically Booker T rules off to SmackDown Universe. The New Day bows down to King Booker. Booker knights the New Day members. Big E complains about not getting a royal nickname like Woods, and it was just a whole mess. Anyway, that was the beginning of the show. Then The Bar versus Gallows and Anderson, and Anderson versus the Colons. The Bar versus Gallows and Anderson versus the Colons. So the bar is basically, they're doing pretty good, but I feel like these guys, they're basically like paving the way for these new guys coming in. Because, obviously, the bar is Sheamus and Cesaro. Cesaro, I feel like, still has more in him. Sheamus, he's like already a veteran in wrestling, so he's kind of like paving the way for these other guys. I think Sheamus's time is, I think he's probably going to do another few years, and eventually he's on his way out. Tag team titles. So Carl Anderson and starts off the match or whatever, and then basically they strike on Sheamus, and then Cesaro is able to get the tag, and they double team Anderson. Cesaro lays into Anderson with strikes until Anderson is able to fire back, and then they're basically going at it. So, anyway, the winners of that match was The Bar. The Bar gets the New Day's faces at ringside after the match. And then Rusev Day, including Aiden, approached SmackDown. General Manager Paige backstage. By the way, Paige is sounds horrible on the mic. Like, get her off the fucking mic. Like, she just sucks. And first of all, I don't even know why she's the general manager of Raw. They can't find nobody else but fucking Paige? Really? Come on. Get somebody else. And basically, Paige books a triple threat match for next week. Rusev Day versus the Usos versus Sanity. The winner faced the Bar for a shot at the tag titles. So then it goes to video. And then Jeff Hardy comes out to the ring and gets on the mic. I think Jeff Hardy still looks good. You know, I think he's still in shape. I think he's still doing good. Besides the fact that he's had trouble with substance abuse and drugs here and there, whatever that they've caught him with in the past. But I think he's doing much better now. I think his health is better. I think he looks great for a veteran. And Jeff talks about his feud with Randy Orton. Then the show is on replay, diving off some production equipment with a Swanton Bomb, which I didn't see that match. And that shit, the way he jumped off that table or whatever and just crashed on Randy Orton, that shit was pretty cool. If you haven't seen that replay, go on YouTube or whatever and try to find it because it was really cool. Jeff says that he made him feel like alive again, and then he calls out Orton, and then Orton basically tells him he's going to fight, he's going to go down to the ring, and then he's like, oh, do you really think that I was going to really go down and fight you or whatever? So, and then, he's basically like taunting him or whatever, and then he's like, oh, you think I'm going to face you in front of all these Canadians and blah, blah, because remember, guys, WWE was in Canada on Monday and Thursday. I mean, Monday and Tuesday. Jeff challenges Orton to a Hell in a Cell match, and the crowd pops, and Orton backs away up the ramp. Just walks away, like, so stupid. Anyway, Hell in a Cell, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy. It should be an awesome one. I think Jeff Hardy's going to really do some damage in there. Orton could get crazy too, but it should be cool. Hell in a Cell, I think, is going to be a pretty good pay-per-view. We're definitely going to see if we could do a show on that, on Hell in a Cell recap. Carmella's like, now she's like this. She's trying to be like, oh yeah, Carmella, I'm all about money and shit like that. She's really hot. I think she's hot. If you ever get a chance, Ives, I could probably show you who she is. She's in backstage.
What's her name?
Carmella, like she's like a WWE diva, superstar, or whatever. She's backstage, and then Renee Young, which is like the lady who interviews in the backstage. Carmella takes credit for putting a spotlight on the women's division and says Becky is throwing a temper tantrum. Carmella mentions she beats Charlotte twice, and tonight will be the third time as Carmella walks off. R-Truth walks in looking for Carmella, and then Ty Dillinger walks in and tells Truth to let it go. Truth says he's right, and it's all about timing, and when the time is right, the Truth will set her free. I don't know what the hell that's all about, but they're trying to figure something out with R-Truth to keep him in the storyline some way, somehow. Can I
interject for a second? Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Can you explain to me what Ronda's position in all of this is? Like, what is she doing, and how is she involved with it? Because I obviously know that she came to the WWE, but I just don't know exactly what. Right.
So Ronda is on a brand, one of the brand shows of WWE called Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
And Monday Night, she is the WWE Women's Champion in Monday Night Raw, right? Because each television brand show, which they have Monday Night Raw and they have WWE SmackDown.
Okay.
So she's on SmackDown. She's on WWE Raw, WWE Monday Night Raw. So she's not on this card. She's not on this show, on SmackDown.
Right.
Right. So right now, Ronda is she's feuding with Alexa Bliss, which is this really short, really hot, short blonde.
Okay.
Yeah, which she could probably get it if she was near me. But that might be happening.
I see. Oh, I'm looking her up right now. Actually, I see what you're doing.
You looking her
Oh
up?
damn, yeah, she's 5'1". Yeah, that's wow. Small.
Yeah.
Ronda, what is Ronda? Ronda's
Yeah.
like 5'6", 5'7", I think, something around there.
Yeah. So she's feuding with her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take my fucking title back, and I'm gonna kick your ass." Yeah, right. Ronda would fucking toss your ass like a piece of shit and throw it across the ring. Like, come on. She's like, it's just a feud, and we know in reality she could kick her ass. So that's what's going on with that. So just basically going back to SmackDown really quickly, because I don't want to waste too much time on SmackDown. I just want to really quickly go through the match really quick. Daniel Bryan versus Andre Cien Almas. I don't believe about this new guy, Andre Cien Almas. I know he's with he's with Zelina Vega. I guess they're from freaking NXT or whatever. The winner was Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is feuding with The Miz, and they're supposed to have like this big match at Hell in a Cell, which you should probably look into it, Ives. Hell in a Cell is gonna be like matches where they're in a cage, so it should be cool.
So it's basically like I'm kind of watching UFC fight, but I'm not really.
Yeah, that'll probably get you into it. Yeah. So after the match, so basically after that, Charlotte versus Carmella, the winner and still women's champion Charlotte Flair. Charlotte, honestly, like I said before on this show, the two top divas in the WWE right now is definitely Ronda Rousey. She has the belt. She's the WWE champion, and Charlotte Flair. To me, she's like one of the best wrestling divas out there. Like wrestling, I don't really like to call them divas because I don't give a shit about.
How did that start? How did that start in the first place, though?
This whole diva shit started with the whole, they started coming out, I'm a diva, all this stupid shit. Like, I don't care about this diva shit. You're a woman, so just say women's champion, I don't care for the diva thing. And then, honestly, whoever thinks that I'm wrong, definitely you have the right to give your opinion. But I don't like it. I don't care for the word diva, whatever. But I think that Charlotte is one of the better women wrestlers out there right now. After the match, Becky Lynch runs in and attacks Charlotte from behind. Becky pummels on Charlotte on the mat, then boots her in the head. Becky gets on the mic and grabs the title belt. Becky says at Hell in a Cell she's taking her title back, and she calls Charlotte a bitch. Then she holds up the women's title belt. Becky heads to the back as we go to replay. Charlotte recovers in the ring and gets to her feet as SmackDown goes off the air. So that was the end of SmackDown. So that's what happened on SmackDown. Not that great. Not that great of a show. It was okay. It was whatever. I didn't really care for it so much. I'm not really into SmackDown like that. I'm more into Raw. I guess because of Ronda Rousey, and I guess because I'm becoming more of a fan of this wrestler called Elias. He comes in the Elias, Elias. Elias. He comes into the middle of the ring and he's like playing his guitar and and he starts talking shit and like saying shit to the crowd or whatever. But I just like his swagger. I like his style. I like he has like this. He has a beard. He has like this rugged look to him, but he looks cool. And I don't know. I just like his style. I think he's a really good wrestler. I think they need to put him in more matches so we could see more of the skills that he has. But yeah, he's on the Raw brand, which is the brand that Ronda Rousey's on. So yeah, I really want you to get into more of the UFC MMA thing. I don't want to take up too much time on wrestling. So I don't know if you want to interject or put.
You know what you should do? Here's the thing. The best way also of becoming interested in the sport is by actually just watching. I know you said when you first watched, you were pretty turned off by it because of the gore and the violence. But what you need to do, and I'm going to make sure that you do it because I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you if you're actually watching it. You have to tune.
Yeah.
I am. You have to tune in. September 8th, 10 p.m. You can watch the prelims, but I don't know. It's not gonna be as interesting. You go with if you want. Actually, you probably most likely are gonna watch the prelims because it's a pay-per-view. I highly doubt you're gonna want to spend the $70. But there's ways of finding the fight online without actually having to spend the money. But watch it, and then you're gonna tell me what you think after watching it. And you need to watch it a couple of times, and then after you watch it a couple of times, it'll be better. Trust me. Trust me, because I was in the same position as you. I didn't like it at first. The gore was pretty rough. But you have to give it a chance.
I really have to give it a chance and get into it more for sure. September 8th at 10 p.m. 8th. September 8th.
Yeah, either you can find the pay-per-view, or if you want, you can watch the prelims before. The prelims are at 8. They're at 8 o'clock. They're on Fox or FX actually. They switch between FS1, FX, TV, so you can watch it there too. But you have to. I'm telling you, you have to. And then I'll start getting into you also about specifics and all this other stuff. But it's very, very, very good, and it's real, which is the important part.
Right.
It's real shit.
Real. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is really big guy on WWE Raw. You gotta take a look at him. His name is I'll give you his name now. Trying to get his. Oh, shit, I'm trying to remember his name. But he is a fucking monster, dude. Like he's like this huge, big ass guy, like with a beard, and he's scary. He's freaking scary, this guy.
Is he on Raw, or is he on the other one you mentioned?
No, he's on Raw.
Oh, he's on Raw. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another one. One of the fights actually that's gonna be. It's pretty good. It's the first fight of the main card. This is one that I really want you to see. So again, you don't have to buy the pay-per-view, but I want you to see this because I think this will turn you around, because these two are absolutely insane. Like you have the beat. I can't even fucking pronounce his last name. Medashaparov, and then Yara Rodriguez.
Right.
These two are some crazy motherfuckers. So if you're gonna watch again for the first time in a while, you want to watch these two. So I'm just letting you know about that. They're the first fight of the main card on September 8th.
I'm definitely gonna check this out because I really want to.
You have to give it a chance.
Yeah, definitely have to give it a chance. Braun. His name is. Come on, his name is Braun Strowman. This guy is a beast. He's a monster. He's huge.
Wait, say it again. What's his name?
Braun, Braun. Strowman, Strowman. Braun Strowman. He's feuding with this guy, who is actually the current WWE champion. He's they call it Raw calls the WWE championship. They call it the Universal title. On Raw, and then WWE champion would be on SmackDown. So to kind of to kind of like not confuse it, they named the Universal title what they named it, and they have the other title on SmackDown. So, which I kind of feel like is stupid because there should only be one champion. But yeah, I guess they're doing it because they're doing it so that way each brand has a champion. I guess.
Holy shit, he's 6'8".
Yeah. Speaking of CM Punk, I'm looking at him. Speaking of CM Punk, I'm looking at an article, and it's saying that this wrestler called Colt Cabana, is suing CM Punk. He says Colt Cabana briefly spoke on his pending lawsuit against CM Punk during a recent episode of his podcast. The host is suing his former friend for the cost of legal fees stemming from WWE's lawsuit against the two of them. Cabana said he wishes news of the lawsuit had not leaked out and does not sound as though he's interested in discussing it much. All I want is for this thing to be settled, Cabana said on the show. I don't have anything to say about it. I'm going to try not to say anything about this until after everything unfolds, I guess. So, So CM Punk is in some little shit, himself with some lawsuit shit going on. So I guess he's dealing with that right now.
He'll be fine. Don't you worry. He'll be perfectly fine with all the money he has.
Oh yeah, definitely. And let me tell you something. There's people.
And he made a shit ton in the two UFC fights. He made $500K each of those fights.
Dude, let me tell you something.
There are people that train years to get into UFC, and they're barely making scraps. He made $500K, but that's simply because he brings in pay-per-view numbers. That's all that it is. But goddamn, that's and people hate him for that too, because you have people who really they've been training for years for this. They literally put their body through all the works, and they make.
Let me tell you something. They still chant his name in WWE shows. He's not even nowhere like there or anything, and they haven't mentioned him in a long time. And they still chant his name like they want him to be there. Like they're dying to see him back in WWE. Do I think the WWE will bring him back? Possibly, because you know what? It's a moneymaker. If they bring him back, it's money. And they're not stupid.
Right.
So they might. I'm pretty sure that we'll see him back sometime. I don't.
Yeah, and he's a hell of a talker. I know that because even in his pre-fight press conferences, he did a good job of that. Even in the UFC, he was doing that all. That's what made people actually want to watch him. He's pretty good with that, and obviously he's been doing that for years in the WWE.
Yeah,
so.
he definitely has the mic skills for it. Definitely.
He's definitely good with the mic. Yeah.
So you would say right now the best person in the UFC right now you would have to say is Conor McGregor?
Yeah. Well, it's doing well for hardcore fans. People are fine with the fights that are going on right now, but honestly, it's the company is just lacking. It's lacking without him. We need him back. And he's coming back October 6th. Now because all the hype is here, because he's coming back October 6th. October 6th, he's fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov, another Dagestani. And there's a lot of beef between the two. Also, whether the beef was made up or whatever, or that people are saying was planned. Did you hear about that? We threw the dolly at the bus. There was a bus that was loading in to go to the fights. There was a couple fighters on the bus and he injured them. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I didn't hear about that.
A couple months ago. Right. Oh, wow. So he just people were saying that it was planned, but we need him back. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
He is the biggest name, not even just in the UFC. He's the biggest name in the whole entertainment world as well. Honestly, everyone knows who he is. Every single person knows who this man is. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when did you first hear about him? Was it from like you read him online, or was it you found out about his fight or anything?
Well, I mean, I heard about Conor McGregor a lot because like my fiance's that, he watches a lot of MMA UFC fights. And then like when he was like coming up to I saw him a few times, like probably like once or twice, seeing in some of his matches, and I was like, man, this guy's good, you know. That he used to come out with the Irish you know, clothes on, or the colors, the Irish colors on.
Yes.
And I was like, man, this guy's badass, you know. And I was like, I feel like this guy's gonna be something. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it started, even when he first started, it was the reason why he became so big was because he would say things. He would just say simple things like predicting specific things that will happen. He'll be like, second round, it's going to happen this way. I'm going to hit you with the left hand, it's going to happen this way. Or the next thing would be like, he's going to dive in for a takedown, and but then this is going to happen, or that's going to happen. And every single time he said it, it came true. And that's when he started to blow up, because it wasn't just him talking. He was walking the walk as well, and it was pretty insane. And I remember watching him a while ago, like 3 years ago, and he really wasn't a big deal. And I even was excited even back when he didn't have a name, because I don't know, it's just when the way he was talking, he's very witty, he's very quick, and he would say these things. But the thing is, most other fighters, they say it, but then it's like once the fight comes and then once it starts, once they get in, they're not doing shit for the most part.
Right.
They tense up. That wasn't him, and that's, I think, why everybody started to follow him and get interested in him. And it was really incredible, honestly. He literally took over the MMA game in a matter of months. That's not easy to do. There are other big names before him, like you have John Jones, Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen was also a big talker before him, but like this is a whole different world, because then he transitioned into boxing. He could fucking do WWE also if he wanted to, but he would never do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe down the road when he retired.
Yeah, maybe to just do something on the side, and WWE would definitely take him. You know, they will.
100%. They would have to pay him like 3 times what he's getting, because the UFC doesn't pay. They don't pay him nearly as much as he's actually worth. But
really, you think UFC pays way? You think UFC pays less?
He made the most he made. I think in his last fight was, I think it was somewhere like $9 million. And do you see how much he just got paid against Floyd? It was over $100 million. Because that's not how they work. The UFC, they can't pay that type of money, because you have Dana taking 90% of it. But that's a whole other story. But the thing is he could. So if the WWE were to take him, they would obviously have the contract would be huge. But he's not going anywhere. He's not going to the WWE. That's not happening.
Just to say some latest news, guys. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the listeners who are wrestling fans, if they watched Raw this past Monday, they saw how Kevin Owens left frustrated. He lost the match, and then he lost the match to Seth Rollins and to the Intercontinental title, and he was frustrated. He said he's done, whatever, right? And there's rumors now that are going around that WWE is considering to pair Kevin Owens up with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, currently Owens is in a storyline in which he has quit WWE after his unsuccessful bid for the Intercontinental Championship against Seth Rollins on Monday night. There's a ton of speculations as to what is going to happen to KO. Will he join SmackDown Live, perhaps turn babyface? The possibilities are endless. Somehow a pairing with Paul Heyman seems to get into the rumor mix. I think it may happen because they gotta pair Paul with somebody. Paul Heyman is one of like he's the manager for, he's actually the advocate for Brock Lesnar. He's like Brock Lesnar's manager or advocate or whatever. And because Brock Lesnar's contract is up and he's going back to UFC, they got to pair him up with somebody. So they're probably going to pair him up with this guy Kevin Owens.
That's another name that I forgot who was involved with the UFC as well. They love his ass because he brings in all the WWE followers to the UFC. That's why pay-per-view numbers are insane when he comes in there too. But he's got his ass kicked as well. But he's done pretty well. He's a big ass guy. Honestly, when you're his size, sometimes you don't really need that much skill, and you've seen that with him also a couple of times. Yeah.
Exactly.
Big ass dude.
Yeah, that's true. That he does bring a big following from WWE over to UFC or whenever
he CM Punk did. Yeah, they really do.
Now
there's going to be more. I'm sure more are going to try to.
Let me ask you: isn't he supposed to be fighting some guy in UFC like coming up?
He is. Yeah, the current light heavyweight champion, Daniel Cormier. After Daniel Cormier won his last fight, he basically called him out because. The thing is, when you call Brock Lesnar out, that means that you're just going to make a shitload of money. Because any time you're fighting him, you're just going to make a lot of money because the pay-per-view number is going to be big. And then the people who fight in the main card obviously get a little bit of the money that comes in through the pay-per-view. So of course he called him out. But I don't know if it's actually happening because obviously, Brock is roided up right now. And then he's got to have to go through the USADA testing pool. They're going to have to test him. He's got to be clean. But there's a bunch of bullshit going on with that too. There's been exceptions with him where he hasn't been clean and they test him afterwards, and
because he was suspended for like about a year, right?
He was, because he wasn't clean after his last fight. Which he's not going to be clean. So the thing is, people are saying the fight's not going to happen. Although Cormier called him out, I highly doubt it's happening. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It's not.
When is this match taking place? Is there a date?
No, they didn't announce it yet because Cormier just called him out. He called him out recently, so it's not. No, it's not. We don't know yet because the thing is also we don't even know if he's going to be fighting. They have to test him for the next 6 months, and if he's clean, then they can start the promotion and all the other good stuff. But not yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
What was your opinion of him though in WWE?
Dude, the guy he's a beast. He's a monster, dude. That he was kicking fucking wrestlers' asses, like tossing them back everywhere, like a doll, like a rag doll. He was just kicking ass, and he was WWE champion. He was like at the top of the mountain on WWE for like he was a champion for like 500 and somewhat days. So he was a champion for a while. But he was a part-time champion because, I guess it was in his contract that, he told them, well, I'll be champion, whatever, but I'm not going to be going to all the shows. I'm not going to be a full-timer. They're like, okay, because just with having him on the show, it just spikes up ratings. So, they're like, okay, that's fine. You could be a part-timer, And they gave him the money,
right.
And I'm pretty sure WWE gave him a shitload of money on his contract. So,
yeah, that guy's worth some good stuff. Also, all these people have money for days.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are getting ready to wrap it up. This has been awesome talk. On this show, we just been going back and forth, me and Ives, on a lot of cool stuff. We just got 4 minutes on the show. Any last words? Any last things you wanted to say, Ives, before we?
Just for anyone who doesn't know anything about the UFC or wants to start watching, I suggest you do. It's real combat. It's actually incredible. And it's not just about Conor. It's not about the big names. It's also the small guys. Although I talk about the big guys, it's the small guys do a good job too. It's really, really incredible. And honestly, it inspired me too because it makes me try to go out. I've been boxing recently. I go out and try to get to it as well. So anyone who's not interested and maybe skeptical of whether it's as good as I say it is. Just trust me. Nestor's going to do it. He's going to watch, and he's going to give his opinion as well, and you guys should too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to watch. I'm definitely going to get into it. Ives really intrigued.
I'm going to make you get into it.
Yeah, he's gonna fucking force my ass to get into it. Like, really? But he definitely intrigued me to get into the sport, and I'm definitely gonna check it out and get into it. Who knows? I might probably start kickboxing or some shit. I don't know. But
you might. Seriously.
Yeah. speaking of which, let me tell you something really quickly. They're opening up my gym, the gym around the corner from my house. They sent me an email. They said, hey, you want to take a tour of the new gym or whatever. So I got to go over there, take a tour, and pick up my fob for my for my membership fob thing. So yeah, so I'm gonna go check it out. And it's, if they have some kind of like if they have some kind of classes like that, I'll probably get into it. Who knows?
You definitely should. Seriously.
Yeah. As you know, I'm a fat ass right now, so gotta lose some weight. Not to say that I'm really, not to say that I'm fat, because I'm not fat like obese fat, but I
wouldn't call you a fat. Yeah, I wouldn't call you a fat ass. Maybe just a slightly just overweight
belly. Yeah, just a little belly going on, But yeah.
But that would definitely help. You gotta get hit in the gut a little bit, and then you'll realize you'll lose that gut. You get it tighter, you won't be as much in pain.
I know, right? Oh man. Anyway, yeah. So again, guys, hit up the Mind Speakers Facebook page, the Twitter page, the Instagram page. Send us an email, mindspeakers1@gmail.com. Mindspeakers1@gmail.com.
And again, Carissa Johnson on Instagram, also hit her up too, because she made that logo and it's fucking incredible, and she's going to be on the show. What is it, the 9th of September?
I think it's like the 8th. The 8th on a Saturday.
Oh, so the same day as the fight then. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, the same day. So it should be awesome. Maybe we could, I don't know, be able to get into some UFC around there. I don't know. I doubt it, because we're gonna be talking a lot about other shit.
They probably have a lot of shit to say. So these girls are touring all around, so they'll take up the time.
Really quickly, if anybody ever heard of Johnny Showcase, he hit me up on Instagram, and he might be coming on. I don't know. We don't know yet. It's not a guarantee. He hasn't hit me back up yet, but I don't know. Anyway, we got to go. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys next time. All right?
Yes. See you. Yeah.
All right.